And the signing of him on a permanent basis, how pleasing for you not just to have him as a member of your squad, but also, I guess, a sign of ambition and intent from those above you at the club?
Yes, it is, and we're very pleased with that news. Obviously, I was aware a little bit before it was announced yesterday, and I think it's fantastic for everyone connected to the club. You know, the most important people, obviously, the supporters. You've seen the reaction; it's very positive. They've seen him over the last 5-6 months play ever so well. He's still got loads left in him, in our opinion. So to have me full time and settled, I think he'll come again. I think he'll go up another level, because that feeling of knowing where he's going to be playing his football for the next 4 years will help him settle. And I think he is a player that needs to feel wanted. He needs to feel support, and I think everyone at Villa's played the part. Myself, the coaching staff, obviously all the support staff, and most importantly the owners, Christian and Johan, have made him feel really special. And you know, that's where the decisions come from. He feels really happy here, and it's fantastic that he wants to be part of this journey.
You've spoken a few times about how he's raised the levels of those around him, and we spoke to Jacob Ramsey recently, who said, if he's in the gym, I'm watching what he's doing. If he wants to be in the swimming pool on a Friday, I want to be in the swimming pool on a Friday. And just how you've observed, I guess, how the rest of the squad have responded to having such a world-class player around them. Yeah, well, Phil's very humble as a kid. He's very quiet the way he goes about it, but he's extremely professional. He's someone who sets standards on a daily basis, and when you're a young player, you look for them role models around the place. You want to watch them carefully. You want to copy them. You want to learn, you know, how they've become world class. So for the likes of JJ, Carney, Tim, young Tommy, Ben, young Aaron, to name a few, they should be watching the likes of Philip Coutinho and our senior pros, and watching why they've played at the top for so long and why they've been serial winners. You know, to have the likes of Ashley Young and Philip Coutinho in your buildings, gold dust for them. He's spoken this morning about wanting to be part of a squad in a club that challenges for Europe. There will obviously be further changes to your group over the course of the summer, but do you already see a nucleus of players here where Europe should be the aim next year? Yeah, we've touched on this before, and in terms of the big picture, we want to be pushing higher up the league. Of course we do. We understand where we are at the moment. We know there's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of progress needing to be made. But I've seen enough in the last 6 months, you know, analysing the players up close and the support staff and the resources we've got here, and also the ambition from the top in terms of the owners. I don't see why it's not possible. It's going to be a journey, of course. We're going to have to manoeuvre our way through that, but for me, no one's more hungry than me to try and achieve that. You're obviously making it clear which players you do want around next season. Are you also starting to have a clear idea in your mind about who isn't required, and whether those conversations have already taken place with some players? Well, look, I think it's quite normal when you've got a large group of players. You know, only 11 can play, and when you're at a club that's not playing in Europe, it's one game every week, and at times this season we've had to wait 2 and 3 weeks to play. So I'm sure there is a bit of frustration in there. I'm sure there's players within the group that are not happy with the game time at the moment. I respect that, I understand it, and I'll always be honest in my one-to-one chats with them players and their representation. And if it's better for them to go and play elsewhere because they're guaranteed more game time, we're certainly open to conversations with 1 or 2. But in terms of naming names, I don't think that's professional or needed. Just a final one from me then. We've spoken a couple of times this season after games with the so-called bigger clubs about you feeling that sometimes the players had a lack of belief. There seemed to be a bit of a shift in that on Tuesday night, where your players did feel they could go toe-to-toe with one of the best teams in the world. Yeah, and that was the pleasing thing. I think we made it extremely hard for Liverpool. You know, internally we spoke about having that belief and going toe-to-toe. You have 2 options with the top sides where we are right now, and it's to wait and fear and protect. Or you're bold, you're brave, and you play courageous football, and that's what we did. So we're ever so proud of the efforts from the players. But, you know, analysing it realistically, we're still a little bit short in terms of, you know, taking better results from the top team. So it's something for us to strive for. And in time, I believe we'll be better prepared, you know, to take something out of the game, because we were ever so close against one of the best teams in the world. Thank you. Thank you.
Cheers. All right, Steve?
Yeah, good, you?
Yeah, not bad, mate. If you could give us a little insight into Felipe. because I know that's what a lot of the fans want. What has he seen in Aston Villa to take an incredible drop in wages, swap the Med for the Midlands? What's he seen?
Probably my banter and my company, to be honest. No, I'm only joking. I think, for the public and people who are fascinated with this and wanting the inside, I think you can't underestimate football happiness. And in any walk of life, in any job, in any role, I think you've got to get out of bed with a purpose, with a drive, with an energy to enjoy your job and your role. In football terms, that is to feel support from your teammates, from your staff, from your support staff, but also from your supporters. I think if you get out of bed every morning and you're playing for an ambitious club where there's a journey that everyone's pushing to move it forward and improve it, and you're a big part of that, and you're made to feel welcome and a central part of it, and people want to build around you, I think that's very important in Phil's situation.
When you look at Aston Villa, you've had a good time to bed in now. You know the fans, you know that there are another 20-odd thousand waiting to have season tickets. With 3 games left, what do you want from Aston Villa, and where do you want to take them?
Well, I think I've answered this question many a times. We want to finish as high as we can. We've got 2 home games on the bounce. One is with the direct opponent who's jostling with us in the middle of the league. So that'll be a really interesting tie for us, a dangerous team coming to Villa Park, but we want to try and take maximum points and then go into the Burnley game in a good place. We played Burnley recently and showed if we hit a certain level we're capable of getting maximum points there. So in the short term it's to try and win the next 2 home games and take maximum points, and then we'll obviously go and give it our best again against Manchester City, and we'll see where we are and what the situation is at the top of the table when that comes about.
You and the opposition manager, Patrick Vieira, you came in a top 5 Premier League midfielders. You came higher, actually.
Did I?
I knew you were thinking it. How do you rate both of your rookie seasons in the Premier League as managers?
Well, I don't think it's... I don't think I should have to speak about myself first and foremost. I think that's for everyone else to have an opinion on. But in terms of Patrick, I think he's just been named today in a shortlist to be named Manager of the Year, so I think that says everything about his debut campaign. He's obviously went away from Manchester City after being involved with the under-23 setup and took New York City, so I watched him quite a bit over there because of my attachment with the MLS. He's gone and learnt and took a big challenge on there, and he's obviously felt ready to come back into the Premier League, and he took a similar type of job, if you like myself, a team that was down at the bottom of the league, and he recruited extremely well and changed the style from the Roy Hodgson era. He was a bit more pragmatic in the way he went about it. So I think Crystal Palace are playing with a bit more flair and style, and they've got some real bright young attacking players, so I think he's building something really good there.
Were you pleased for Matty Cash? He was voted the fans' player of the season, and how is his head got any bigger this morning?
No, Matty's okay. He's a humble kid, great to work with. He's a very energetic and infectious character. I'm sure he's delighted with that. I think if you get the vote from your supporters, I think it's a real important award. I know he's very grateful for that, but it's important now he goes and finishes the season really strong, because he's been quite consistent for us. We still feel that there's growth and improvement in Matty. That's the exciting thing, but he's a pleasure to work with on a daily basis. He brings a lot of energy and quality to the group.
Cheers.
Hi, Stephen.
Hello.
Signing of Felipe is a big message in this country, but it's also a massive message worldwide. Will the fact that he signed permanently, will that help with your recruitment of top-class players?
Yes, I'm sure it will. Good players want to play with good players. It's pretty simple. And in my short time being a manager, previously before I come here, but also since I've been here in the first window, when you speak to players and you sit down, they ask questions about the current squad. They ask questions about loan players, and they ask questions about where you're taking the journey, where's the ambition of the club. There's a lot of questions that get fired at you. So, the question of will Philip Coutinho become a permanent signing for Aston Villa has been asked before, for sure.
How difficult is it as the head coach to get players competing when there's games with relatively nothing on them? How difficult is that? More difficult than normal?
Obviously, that's your opinion to say that there's nothing on them, because for me, there's everything on them.
I didn't mean that disrespectfully.
No, I appreciate that, but you know, in my shoes, which was obviously part of your question, there's always got to be a purpose and an importance to every single game we're representing Aston Villa. We've got 20,000 people waiting to grab a season ticket in the stadium. You seen the atmosphere the other night. They're paying good money to come and support the team. That's the first thing. So there's always a purpose for the supporters, but also for self-pride, for your own drive. You've got to have that. You've got to have that drive inside you to compete every time you go onto a football pitch. And for me, it's extremely important that we finish the season strong in the next 3 games.
And just finally, yourself, you're new to the Premier League. You've been a player a long time in it, but are you learning game by game? Are you becoming a better manager, head coach, game by game?
Yeah, I'd like to think so. I'm always trying to learn and improve. I'm always analysing myself. It's not just about me analysing the players and judging the players. You know, I've got to perform myself. I've got to judge myself and be honest. I've got to take advice from people who I trust around me. And 100% I'll continue to try and evolve myself and improve and get better, because, you know, I agree, I'm still very young, learning a lot. A rookie in terms of a lot of the experienced managers in the league, but the only way to get there is to, you know, keep churning games out and keep learning and growing. That's the only way you can get there.
Good luck.
Thank you.